All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the webinar called Successful Quality Management Implementation Tips with Acumatica Customers. I am Stacy Wrights, and I'll be your webinar moderator for today. And please note that this webinar is meant to be interactive, so you can resize all the windows if needed. You can check out the resources within the resource list, which is on the bottom of the screen. And you are encouraged to ask questions about this webinar. Please submit your questions in the Q&A box, and that Q&A box is also on the bottom of the screen. And towards the end of this webinar, we'll try to answer as many of your questions as possible. But if we do happen to run out of time, don't worry about it. We'll reach out to you after this webinar ends. And last but not least, I want to point out that we want you to know that your voice matters. So please submit the very short webinar survey that's on the screen so that we can better understand what you'd like to see in the future and what your thoughts are on this webinar. And with that said, I'll pass it off to Debbie Baldwin, the Director of Product Management for Manufacturing at Acumatica. Welcome, Debbie.
Thank you, Stacy. Yeah, so great to be here today. Again, I'm Debbie Baldwin, and today I'm really excited to have two Acumatica customers, Carolina Components and CBDMD, that are willing to share their experience with Acumatica Quality Management Module. So with that, let's get started. So today we're going to focus on the following. First, I'm just going to take a couple of minutes to talk about Acumatica's Manufacturing Edition. I'll introduce the Quality Management Module. It's just going to be a very high overview, so there's a lot more information that you can find out about both Acumatica's Manufacturing Edition and the Quality Module. So hopefully you'll take the time to do a little research on that. But the main thing that we really want to focus on today is my two customers, my two very important customers. They have stories, Carolina Components and CBDMD. And then at the end, we saved a little bit of time to answer any questions that you might have. All right, so first let's talk about Acumatica's Manufacturing Edition. The Manufacturing Edition is, it provides a suite of manufacturing applications for production and for order management, data collection, material planning, scheduling, product configurations, all the things that you would expect from a manufacturing product. But it doesn't stop there. So if you buy the Manufacturing Edition, you can run your entire business on the Manufacturing Edition, because it also includes inventory, it also includes finance, document management, and then your users also have the ability to create their own inquiries, create their own personalized reports, their own role-based dashboards, which are really, really easy to create and use, and then also real-time business analytics. So today what we want to focus on is the Quality Management Module for Acumatica. So at a high level, the quality module was built using the Acumatica framework. So all of the benefits that you get from using the platform, those are just native to the quality module. It's built on top of existing functionality. So by doing this, we have a really seamless integration with all of the other Acumatica modules like inventory and manufacturing. It's fulfilled by Acumatica, which means that it has to be certified with every release, and it has to always be current and available with the latest Acumatica releases. And then the Acumatica module, as you can see here on this slide, it includes a lot of different things like QA testing, vendor analysis, corrective action reports, let's go ahead and get started. It's my pleasure to introduce you to John Cody, who is the Director of Quality at Carolina Components. And with that, John, take it away.
Great. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of Acumatica interested parties. My name is John Cody. I'm the Director of Quality for Carolina Components Group. And I work for a company, Carolina Components Group, whose customer base is 99.5% biopharmaceutical companies. We call Pfizer, Merck, Novo Nordisk, Biogen, Grifols, Greer, amongst our major customer accounts. These are accounts that are overseen by various boards of health. Carolina Components Group, while not CGMP certified, is ISO registered to 9001. And this is really important and really an important facet of our interactions with Acumatica and specifically the quality module, in that it allows us to not only fulfill our ISO 9001 obligations, but also allows us to seamlessly integrate quality concepts into our order processing process from incoming, receiving, through outgoing shipments to our various customers. It's been a situation where Carolina Components Group really has invested its time and effort into realizing a more perfect quality system by implementing the proper tools, and Acumatica really has been that for us at this stage of our progression. One of the things that Carolina Components Group really sought to realize during its selection and implementation process was a platform that was robust, that worked seamlessly with our ERP system, which also, was Acumatica, and which also was customizable, in that it allowed us to realize our ideal situation for processing incoming materials through outgoing materials. And that's one of the things that we did when we did our comparison. We wanted to focus our attention on customizability, flexibility, and ease of use. And one of the things that I had found from previous systems is that they were either very, very strict in terms of what they allowed to be done or not done. They sort of put you into a certain box, and you either operated within that box or you couldn't use the system. That's not what we were looking for. We were looking for a system that could actually be customized to meet our needs, not our needs customized to meet the ERP systems. And that was really, really an important factor in our choice of Acumatica. We also were very, very interested in involving ourselves with a cloud-based platform rather than a server-based. We've had various experiences with server-based platforms, and we really weren't all that enamored with them. We were really looking for something a little bit more progressive, a little bit more protected, and a little less risk-based with a cloud-based platform. And we were also looking not so much for a bolt-on quality platform that really hit or miss might work or might not work with ERP, but we were really looking for something that would be seamlessly integrated into the ERP system. And as we've developed our system from April 2020, which is when we purchased the system, to go live a month later, I was actively participating in getting the quality module portion of the Acumatica system set up with our various plans and various expectations from incoming material through outgoing shipments. The implementation for me as a single employee who was split between doing the integration of the process and doing the process at the same time, it took me approximately 1 year as a single individual working part-time on getting the implementation to a point where I could hand it off to somebody. One of the main goals that I had in that I was both doing the process and looking for a better way to do the process was, how do I use this system, and what are my goals in terms of reduction in training time? And by that, I mean, what the training is not only how to do the inspections, but what to inspect. What are you looking for in terms of performing incoming materials or in-process material inspections? And one of the nice things about Acumatica was that I was able to build into the process my concepts on how we were doing the inspections, not just how to do them, but what inspections should be done, and how do I customize inspection plans to meet each individual component that a technician might be looking at into our process. This also leads into the second bullet point, which is consistency. What was I looking for in terms of consistency between inspectors performing the quality inspection plans? This was something that I was extremely interested in sort of baking into the process. Was I can train various individuals on how to do the quality inspections, but what I wanted to ensure happened was that they would consistently apply our expectations on release criteria across all product lines. And the way to do that was to use Acumatica, use the ability to customize test plans based on item classes that I could then allow the inspectors to merely execute the inspection plan rather than to figure out what do they need to inspect. Which leads into the third bullet point, which was efficient and easy creation of customized QC tests. I can't stress enough just how easy it really is to create QC plans, and within those plans, the individual tests necessary to release a given product. It took me very less than a day to actually be able to become functionally literate with creating QC tests and QC plans for the various products that we're bringing in-house, and various products that we're testing on an in-process basis. And then one of the other elements that I found to be very interesting was how seamlessly the QMS actually integrated into the ERP in terms of warehouse locations and being able to transfer past QC products from a state of QA hold into a state of QA released areas and zones within our warehouse. That made it very easy, not only for quality to work with the system, but then for warehouse technicians to actually see that products have been released and where they were actually stored for put away or for shipment. One of the elements of our journey that we wanted to talk to and wanted to sort of stress today is that prior to full implementation of Acumatica and its QMS, I essentially was performing time-consuming manual documentation of products, manual creation of labels, manual creation of QA release and QA hold labels, manual creation of certification of conformance documents, all typed manually by myself. This obviously is not a scalable concept that would allow us to become successful over time. So this was an obvious upgrade that we needed before we actually had the QMS system. Training scalability, I've already sort of indicated that the ability for one person to train multiple people was only going to be enhanced by having a Acumatica based QMS system. Manual training of manual creation of labels and certs and inspection processes was not going to be a scalable one. It also, prior to the Acumatica setup, was somewhat tedious and required constant manual intervention of myself into the actual active process to ensure that quality gates were being adhered to and understood by the various personnel working on given orders, whether that's receiving products at incoming or shipping products out or in process manufacturing. And then documentation of those inspections were all manually created by myself, all typed manual documents. Currently, our post-Acumatica QMS situation is a seamless, consistent integration of quality gates and quality documentation all up and down the chain from incoming through outgoing. I'm able to define our quality inspection criteria by product type. We've established fully electronic control over product flow, meaning not only do we have spatial and labeling segregation, but the system also controls flow of materials that have not undergone QA release and prevents them from being shipped out of the building before having undergone a full quality oversight for release. It also has allowed us a framework aligned with our current inspection and order processing requirements, so that the process by which incoming inspections and in-process inspections and outgoing are processed are seamlessly integrated into our order processing processes as a whole. So it doesn't seem herky-jerky in that way, in that quality is just sort of implemented or integrated sort of haphazardly into a process. It's seamlessly, it's a handoff from one step to the next, with full documentation of the results of quality, which are mandated by our CGMP customers. And as an aside, the time spent, in my opinion, having undergone both a manual process and a process that's aligned within a QMS base, essentially reduced the time from 3 to 4 months training to approximately 1 to 2 months for our various technicians who are involved in this. And that's a significant amount of time savings for our quality personnel and also our quality management staff to actually have to oversee these processes. So that was a significant savings in terms of time resource, which is our most precious resource that we have on site. Parting thoughts. Carolina Components Group is envisioning a continued refinement and development of QC plans, more parsing out of different plans for a variety or greater widening variety of products that we're bringing in, either at incoming or outgoing. Post-shipment QC, QMS applications. We're looking at post-survey, some other or post-delivery applications that we might be able to make use of. As I've stated, what we like, ease of creation and implementation of new QC tests and plans, lack of issues. One of the things that we've not had or suffered is a lot of interruptions based on QMS systems not working as intended. That just has not happened. Once we had our process set, it's been really, really seamless. No issues at all on that regard. Our wish list, one of the things that we're sort of working on is how do we hide or archive obsolete QC plans? And what do we do to further create QC plans and rollout to impacted products, meaning mass uploads of updated QC plans rolled out to all of their previously assigned products. So wrapping up, that has been a real success story for us. Carolina Components Group, I can't stress just how successful this implementation has been, and it's been a really strong partnership working with the e-commerce technicians who have actually helped us realize our goals and our aspirations for a solid ERP QMS system. And now I'd like to hand it off to the moderator to introduce the next customer.
Yeah, thanks, John. You know, I think it's really important for users to hear, especially current users of Acumatica, that the quality module is just as flexible and just as easy to use as the core application. But for those of you that are out there that are not using Acumatica, I think it's important for them to hear from you how easy it is to use as well. So thank you so much for being here today, and I hope that you know, I want to stay in touch with you and you know, see how your company is progressing over the next year or so, and hopefully other people can learn from your experience as well. So next up, it's also my pleasure to introduce Dustin Dickerson. Dustin is an ERP analyst for CBD-MD. And with that, Dustin, over to you.
Hi. A little bit about our company. We were founded in 2015 in the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina. We offer a pretty wide range of broad spectrum and full spectrum tinctures, gummies, soft gels, and some pet products as well. A little bit about me. I am the ERP analyst here. I've been with the company for about 4 years now. I do pretty much all the Acumatica day-to-day tasks, updating dashboards, system automations, reporting, any quality of life improvements I can give. Previously, I was the senior production technician here, so I worked pretty closely with our production team and our quality department. I oversaw all the equipment calibrations and servicing for that, and I contributed to our SOPs. For selection and implementation process for us, previously we used NetSuite as our ERP, and we did not have a QMS solution. It was pretty much all paper-based and a shared drive. We looked through some other ones like Isolocity, Master Control, Tulip, and a custom standalone module. Then in early 2022, CBD-MD purchased Acumatica, and we went live in August 1st. We implemented our QMS application during the full implementation of Acumatica, and our quality solution really only took a couple weeks out of that. The only thing I would do differently is more out-of-the-box product movements for us. So like for our quality status notifications and product movement, I was able to remedy that with Acumatica business events. Our implementation goals, the main goal of what we were looking for is a process controls to put in place to ensure product safety. The Acumatica QMS application really did allow us to show that all the quality attributes, the tests, documentations are all in place supporting our positive release program, and it assures product safety and regulatory compliance all in the system of record for us. Before Acumatica QMS, our quality process really was based on emails and paper and a Google Sheet. Our main issue was definitely our communication between departments over what the status of a product was, and was it released, was it quarantined. And after Acumatica, we've remedied all of that. We're able to track labor really efficiently. I was able to add them right into the BOMs. Absolute control over our product statuses, We were able to create hard stops for our COAs. We have streamlined our process from starting a production order, finishing the production order, going to straight into our quality hold and quality releasing. And I have business events that trigger every time something moves and lets all the parties that need to know that it's been released or rejected. They're also able to store all the documents directly onto the quality plans when they fill them out. It's a big help for us. And we're able to define our minor, major, and critical defects based on our RQLs for testing. Next for us, we'll be looking at adding our Kappa and our SCAR to quality module. It's going to be a real treat for us. What I really like is our inbound products. They're automatically placed into a quality hold status when they come in. It ensures compliance to our positive release program. It prompts our quality team to perform and document all of their necessary steps. It's very quick, and they're able to add all of their extra information from the sampling plans and everything right onto the test. So it gives that centralized document management for us for safety and compliance. And what really surprised me the most about the quality management system is how well it connects to the rest of the Acumatica core functions. I'm able to make business events and get everything to trigger just the way I need it to. Our last thing is our wish list is just supplier communications, because right now that's just a standalone manual process for us. Okay. And yeah, I'll turn it back over to you.
Over to me.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, Dustin. Really appreciate that. And, just because, the quality module was built on the Acumatica platform, you also get the benefits, like you said, of using those benefits, business events, that are just built into Acumatica. So all throughout the system, you can create business events for all different types of things where you want your users to be alerted. The quality module can certainly help all of those customers who have those same compliance needs as you do. And I know John talked about ISO 9001, helps him with that as well. So I just want to take a minute to thank you, Dustin and John, and hopefully some of you that are listening, this resonates with you. And with that, Stacey, I know we just have a few minutes. I'll turn it over to you for some Q&A.
All right, thank you so much, Debbie. All right, so if you haven't already done so, everyone, please submit your questions in the Q&A box so that we can assist you. So the first question, let's start off with John first. How does the Acumatica QMS application compare to other quality systems you've used before?
The Acumatica system is much more flexible. I've used TrueLinks, I've used Epicor systems doing this same work, and TrueLinks was okay as an ERP system, but it really had no quality aspects to it. Epicor has the quality aspects to it, but is much more rigid in terms of what it would allow us to do and what it would allow us not to do. So as a comparison, I was looking for something that I could translate my manual process into an electronic one seamlessly. And Acumatica allowed me to do that. So from that standpoint, from the ability to be customizable and flexible, there was no comparison between what I've used, TrueLinks and Epicor and Acumatica.
All right, thank you, John, for that insight. So what about you, Dustin? How does Acumatica QMS compare to other quality systems?
The other quality systems that we had looked at, Isolocity and Master Control and Tulip, they weren't as connected as we really wanted them to be. And so that's the reason we ended up passing on those. And we really wanted something that could combine with what we were wanting to put in place. So it really worked out for us that that the Acumatica QMS rolled right along with it.
All right. Thank you so much, Dustin, for sharing that experience. All right. The second question I would like to bring up is what was the level of expertise from the QMS implementation team at eWorkplace Apps? So, Dustin, would you please share your insight on that?
Yeah, they helped us out a lot. Any questions that I had when I was looking through the quality tests or the quality plans, or whether the test methods I wanted were Boolean or pass fail or whatever they were, they had the answers for me right away, and were able to build exactly what I needed with just the information that I gave them.
All right, thank you. And John, what about you?
The expertise was very, very high level, but beyond the expertise, okay, which was very, very good. The availability was even better. We were planning our transition from a manual process to an electronic one using Acumatica and its QMS. I needed help at odd hours, at odd times, weekends, and the help and the assistance that I got when I needed it. Basically, it was paramount importance to us to be able to move our process forward. So yes, the expertise was great, and it was very helpful, and it was allowed us to move forward. But I can't say enough about the availability of the eWorkplace representatives who actually helped us troubleshoot issues, implement concepts that we were looking to implement, and follow up. The follow-up was really quite remarkable.
Okay, thank you so much. With that said, everyone, we have now run out of time. Thank you to everyone in the audience for your participation today, and thank you to the presenters, John, Dustin, and Debbie, for your time and great efforts today. With that said, have a great rest of your day, everyone. Take care.
Thank you.